Hey YouTubers, I got a fresh shave here, so I hope you guys, I don't want to upset anybody, because if I let it grow out, it kind of starts to go like this, like Bozo the Clown. And Donna, I know you'd be upset with me if I let it grow out like that. So today, what are we going to talk about? It's pretty hard to one up, that ye are whole, and you know, you and I are one, just as the Father and I are one. If you watched the last video, you're probably familiar with the Lord of Hosts speech. That actually describes the state of reality in every sense. Lord of Hosts. That means every created thing is a host for the Lord, for God, the one consciousness, and of is the Spirit, the channel, that the energy behind the creation, the power of creation. Lord of Hosts. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And when you say Father and Son, that's not masculine. That is masculine and feminine, both. It's talking about source and structure and field. So, a couple of conversations I had on at that Bible study that I was talking about in the last video. I didn't get on yesterday. I had a lot of stuff going on, and it was a really weird day. And I'm going to get into why I didn't get on yesterday, and I'll tell you guys how you can heal yourself completely, heal the people around you, and trigger everybody else into a healing state. This is what brings justice in our lives and makes sure that we're all growing together, and it will force growth no matter what, as long as you keep these principles and understand that you and I are one, and when you see everybody else, that you're always looking into your own eyes. We're talking about kids in school, right? And we brought up there was they did some studies. Some Russian kids they found had super high and potential in the right atmosphere, but as soon as they went through a school system where they were trained, where they were just educated on what they were forced to learn instead of what they wanted to learn and expanding their imagination, their IQ actually dropped over time down to they went to 95% just amazing kids that were solving. One of the guys was there. He said they actually gave an example where somebody actually created the proof for Pythagorean's theorem where it hadn't been done before recently. I mean, two kids in one group solved it, and it had never been done before. But then after they went through the modern school system, it basically forced them in such a lower energetic state because you're learning stuff, old stuff. This is all, energy has momentum. So if you don't believe that you can create the things that you're experiencing and you're seeing out there, that you're the creator of this reality and you're subject to it, that means that all the energy that you see you're allowing it to have a momentum to keep moving forward, if that makes sense. So if you're upset at all with the way the world is or anything else, and you don't believe that you can create another version of it or create the reality that you want to experience, you're actually buying into the momentum of what's going on around you, right? And so when kids have to do that and they're forced into an old momentum of, if you want to make a lot of money, you got to be a doctor, lawyer, or whatever, right? And so, those options is just you don't get to create together as kids and do what kids do. We want to create stuff together, right? And build new stuff. Old stuff, blah, right? New stuff. We want new stuff. And build that stuff together. And because of that, this whole society is worshiping this created thing called money, and now we're just doing that. So this is why, I advertise myself as an author, healer, coach, but I never will tell somebody that I can do something for you that you cannot do for yourself, because you and I are one, right? There's nothing that I can do for you that you can't do for yourself. But ask and you shall receive. And when two people are in agreement, That's when really powerful things happen, right? You just have to believe. And you have to start with healing the mind. Because if you're not forgiving yourself, if you think that you're less than in any way, and you're not just understanding that you are God, experiencing this reality through a vessel, then you're always going to see yourself as less than in some way than someone else. And so that's an energetic pull that allows something to feed off that wasted energy. Because there's nothing that is less than or greater than anything else. It's just its state of awareness is slowly growing over time. Whether it's a bug, right? Or a tree, or a plant, any kind of plant, or, spider. I was telling a story about, I actually had a hobo spider. It's either hobo or brown recluse, I don't know. We have both in this area, and they do the same thing. It bit me right there, right between the eyes. I was telling Donna, so I got to show you, Donna. Can you see it? Yeah, you probably can see it. I'm looking at myself in the picture. But I had this park mark right here, and I woke up the next morning and I had two little fang marks right there. And I was like, man, that looks like a spider bite. That doesn't look like And then at the end of the day, it started swelling up. And then the next day, it was like this. And all that, because you've got all this area here that's trying to drain your sinuses and stuff. And it was all trying to drain. And I had a splitting headache for like 3-4 days. And I went to the hospital and they're like, nah, it's all right. Nothing we can do for you. That's a spider bite. And it had gone too far. As soon as a spider bites you and that stuff's in there, it starts decomposing the flesh right there or wherever you get bit. Yeah. That was fun. But you can heal yourself. And I've healed myself almost completely of pretty much every single thing that I've gone through. I've smashed myself, busted teeth. But you can heal yourself. You just have to believe that you can heal yourself. And if you don't believe that you can, the best method for doing this is when you're in pain, just lay down and try and get yourself into a meditative state. Don't get attached to the pain because your body's healing itself. I did this, I know, because I had broken ribs, broken vertebrae, broken face, broken pretty much everything. Luckily, I didn't break my left femur. I bent a steering wheel column as I was ejected out of a moving vehicle, and it didn't break my femur. But I couldn't believe that it wasn't broken, but it was black and blue from top to bottom. And for about the next 2 months, any position sleeping was pretty much impossible unless I got myself into a meditative state. And I hate pain medication. To me, it numbs the senses and it causes so much, it's a numbing effect in the body. I just don't like it. And so I would try and put myself in a meditative state and just, that's how I was able to sleep. I was able to get myself into a position where I didn't hurt as much and just allowed myself to get into that state of 0 point. And then the pain would slowly kind of fade to the background, if that makes sense. It was there, but I wasn't like emotionally attached to it, if that makes sense. So this is a way that you can heal yourself over time. If you've got any kind of injury or if you're worried about what's going on, just believe that you're healing yourself. You can even visualize, healthy things happening in the body because you're creating this body. You're the creator. So you can visualize anything in the body. You can heal anything. I know you can because I've done it. Which means that if you need healing, ask and you shall receive. This is why, and I just answered this on a LinkedIn post, and they asked me, you advertise yourself as a coach or as a author, healer, and counselor. I don't say that I'm a coach. There's a reason why. Because coaching to me is a paid profession. If you're a healer, there's a reason why the Hippocratic Oath is there. The Hippocratic Oath is very ancient, and we don't really follow the Hippocratic Oath anymore, which is why medicine is so dysfunctional now. For one thing, we were talking about it at Bible study, and doctors don't realize that they're actually cursing people. if you give somebody a diagnosis, you're cursing them. You're not telling them that they're healed. You're not telling them that there's nothing wrong with them, which is true. But the reason why there's nothing wrong with them is the key. You have to heal their mind first. You have to understand that you're the creator of your state of mind and being and body. And so if you believe, when you're hurting and you believe, oh, there's something wrong with me, it's like, no, misunderstanding what's going on in the body. And you have the power to overcome that. And if you need help and it doesn't feel like you can do that, ask and you shall receive. When two people are in agreement, all you have to do is believe. And I've seen powerful healings. Like I said in the last video, there was 2 witness testimonies about, brain tumors being healed instantaneously, just drying up. Doctors go in and just pull the rest out. They never seen something like that before. There's nothing that can't be healed. All you have to do is ask. A lot of times you're not in a place, usually when your body's starting to break down, it's coming from some dysfunction in the mental and emotional body that we all inherit in our, from our environments, and not understanding the concepts that I'm giving you now. So a lot of times you don't understand that, you have the power. And even if you really try to believe that you do have power over that, you still need a little bit of extra oomph and help from somebody to make you feel, because somebody who's healed themselves completely can become a channel for you to heal you, as long as you believe. Now, if you don't believe, not much I witnessed my mom die of cancer, and I was in a lower energetic state back then. And I had a conversation with her before she died about, her state of being and how she felt about herself. And I knew that there was something about that she never really liked about herself. My mom was an amazing human being. She made quilts for people, and she would do it for free, because she felt like she would lose her spiritual gift if she decided to do it for free, right? And I think she would have, and she accepted. If somebody wanted to pay her, she was always open for that, and she discouraged it. And I think there was a part of her that discouraged it because she had some low self-worth about herself, and it had to do with deep psychological trauma that my grandma inflicted on mom when she was young, and that was just something that my grandma inherited, right? And her mom and her dad inherited. And these old psychological traumas get taken down through time, and they manifest themselves in the physical body. How active we are, how good we feel about ourselves, how easy it is for us to interact with people and not take offense if somebody gets mad at us, or things like that. Self-knowledge is everything, and being able to block negative energy when people are trying to drain you in any way, and make sure that you just do this and then provide positive energy. For me personally, I've had my own set of problems when it comes to people saying, hey, I have an opportunity for you. It's like, okay, let's see what that is. And a lot of times it's just it's a hook to try and drain your energy. That's all it is. It's not, they don't want to work with you. They're not interested in your state of being. It's always, a lot of times it's just a form of energy vampirism. And so unfortunately, most of modern coaching is that way, right? Who can take a 30-minute master class and become a life coach? Ain't gonna happen, right? So many people are trying to do that now, and it's I would be really curious to see what those people are doing for those other people. But the best thing you can do is just ask and you shall receive. Like, ask and I will receive, Donna. And there isn't anything, and I will ask this to all of you if you're watching this video. There's nothing more that I would like than to go see my girl. But, I've got bills, I got stuff I got to take care of here. But if anybody can help me get to the UK within the next month, I'll be so eternally grateful. Ask and you shall receive. I will do anything that you ask of me. Right? We'll make this happen. Won't we, Donna? And real life really is that simple. And when you do that, when you always offer, because if you ever see somebody as less than or greater than yourself, you won't see them as a part of you. And when they ask for something, and you say, well, I'll only do that if you give me this, then right? I mean, that's what creates the energetic block. Puts you. That's a judgment of the mind that puts you in a certain. Now, say anything you have, that I will do anything for you, and I will, anything you have to offer, I would love to receive it, right? And make sure that people aren't taking advantage of that. But if you're open to receive, then nothing is better than that, right? It's a much easier way of living. We don't try to create a resistance between yourself and everybody else, and then you can create balance in your life. I mean, ultimately, I think we're moving into communities that are going to be supporting one another with no money, within that community, and then setting the boundaries with the rest of the world. Say, hey, you can work with us if you want, and build whatever you want with us. But if you don't, then we have to make sure that we put that boundary so that we're supported, because you don't see yourself as part of us. It's really that simple. And all of the labels that we see in society are built around those ideas of creating a separation between people. Russians, Americans, French, it doesn't matter what you call yourself, a nationality or a skin color or a gender. All those things just create separations of the mind and ignores the fact that we are not that thing. That's the creation. And worshiping the creation will always get you in trouble versus worshiping the Creator. So I hope this makes sense for you guys. I love you guys, obviously, more than anything. And let's just pull an oracle card. This is Friday. And, we have 2 big solar storms coming our way. Or, no, 4 big ones, I think. 4 big solar flares coming this weekend. Mastering yourself and walking that path is one of the hardest things that you can do, because you'll trigger everything around you, especially if you have a lot of healing energy where people are naturally attracted to you, because you just generally have empathy for whatever they're going through, if they're going through anything at all, right? They don't need to be, but if you're always willing to help when help is asked, and it feels like you're just a kid again, right? You don't need. Everything gets easy that way. Mirrored Souls. I get this Mirrored Souls card a lot. I think this is me and you, Don. Same heart, same mind. So, love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you in the next video, whenever that may be. We'll see.